Hey, you guys, and welcome to my channel. This is, a really important topic. It's not going to be long here. I like to say what I need to say, keep it short and simple where everybody can understand here. But, first time basically recording this, I'm looking out my window and it's starting to snow pretty hard. And there's somewhere that I need to go today. So after I put this out, you guys, I'm probably going to take care of that. But I'm going to be back on here in a little bit to revisit because I just did a live chat and we were talking about 11 reasons why the narcissist doesn't have sex with you. But I do want to actually make a video to talk about the connection between your sexual energy and sexual partners. Okay. But in this video, you guys, I really want to give this advice. And this is basically something that pretty much damn near, I want to say 100%, but I'm intelligent enough to stay away from all, never, always. Those terms, you have to use them very carefully in life because mostly nothing fits into one box. It's few isolated things that do. But hey, Tracy, one of the things that I do find that survivors struggled with or they did not do or enforce in that relationship was requiring what they needed. Like you have to require what you need, period. Point blank, period. No matter, what part or aspect of your life, your romantic relationships and business setting, people that you give the privilege of being in your circle enough to even being called a friend, you got to require what you need on whatever level that working relationship is. It could be an associate, but even for you to be my associate, there are requirements for that as well. So everyone that's allowed to be associating with you have to fit in with these needs. Hold on a minute, you guys. The twins, you guys, they turned 4 in January and they have changed energetically. Like they are a lot more rambunctious. You can hear them coming. Okay. I'm like, wait a minute. When they were like 2 and 3, they were just so much more quieter. And now they are very loud. So, hello, Kitty. Let's talk about this as far as requiring what you need. Because I think if we can all get honest with ourselves, we weren't doing that. And if we started out doing it, we were timid with it. We didn't maintain that. We, that workaround stuff, we were just doing that. We were working around stuff, making excuses, and allowing them to not be consistent, if you will. So, this is an important concept, you guys. And it's not about demanding that your requirements be met because you never want to have to demand things of people. Honestly, I love sincerity. So if I can, some things should be common sense, honestly. Like I shouldn't have to tell you to show me respect, if you will. Certain things should be a given. And it's a red flag if you feel like you have to tell people these basic things. But no, it's not about demanding. I don't need to force anybody to do what should be given to me. Like if you can't recognize I'm a king, I'm a queen, you can't recognize the energy and presence that you're around. And it's not even, and you're reciprocating it anyways. Like I'm not asking you to do something that I don't want to extend to you. It's just the type of energy that I like to have. And then, especially as you guys allow people to have a higher or further rank or closer in your circle, you know. So, yeah, you have to definitely require what you need, not demand, but command, And that requires you to understand your wants versus your needs. Your wants are your desires and your motivations. And your needs are basically the things that are essential to you, the things that are necessary for your survival, for you to be or maintain being a balanced person, to you to thrive in your life. It's something that's mandatory. And it can be fixed, although depending on what stage you are in life, your needs can change. You might, before you became a mother, and the things you needed after you became a mother could be different, for example. Or when you were in college or when you were more career focused can be different. So, these wants and needs can adjust, some of them, and then some of them just stay the same. So I didn't want to just tell you guys to require what you need without at least giving you some examples of what these needs can be. Now, of course, everyone's going to determine their own needs, of course, but I'm just going to give you some suggestions on what those can be. All right. And before I do this, I want you to understand that in a relationship setting that it has to be collaborative. So if this is a need that you're trying to get met, obviously within the connection, it's a collaborative thing. They have to be willing to extend that to you, not for you to try to force them or convince them to see that they should be doing these things. Those are the red flags and the things that really have to just turn you off at that point. Okay. So some of your needs might be you might need to have to feel accepted in this relationship. Why not? You have to have that, right? That means there's a level of inclusiveness in this relationship. You're included in decision making. They're doing activities. They're including you in this. Oh, I'm going to go to my family, gathering, or I'm going to hang out with my friends. I want you to come. It's not about being tied to the hips, but there's levels of acceptance there, which means that inclusiveness will bring like an energy of belonging, an energy of, you're fitting in. Okay. So acceptance may be a need that you would need to have. And I would think anyone would generally want. The next thing, you guys, is validation, and not from a narcissistic end of what they're wanting validation for, but validation more so and feeling heard. It doesn't mean that someone 100% agrees with everything that you're doing. That's what a narcissist's ideal of validation is. But no, validation and like, okay, we might agree to disagree, but I do feel like my partner or my friend or whoever I'm communicating with, they're hearing me out here. They're understanding me even though they have a different opinion. So yeah, validation is important as well. Affection, especially in a romantic setting or even with the primary caretaker, and this can take place in physical, sexual, of course, not with non-romantic, verbal or loving words or kind gestures. The affection is beyond just sex and touch. Like, you can have affection in the way that you speak with someone. You can show it in kind gestures as well. Okay. The next thing is having some type of security. This might be a need. I need to feel secure in my relationships, and not secure within myself, but secure within the connection that I am making with you. Okay. I'm secure within myself, but if I'm connecting with you, there should be security around that. So that just means that this relationship is a safe space for me. It means that I feel supported in this relationship. It means that I feel comfortable to be transparent and honest with you. It means that there's boundaries in our relationship where, we know that we shouldn't be crossing it. Even if it's unspoken, we have enough emotional maturity to understand that. All right. Another need could be trust. I need to be able to trust you. And yes, this is something that cultivates over time, but you are working with me to help to cultivate that. It's like building blocks, and the trust, the tower of trust just grows up to a certain height. And this is how someone could go from being to a friend to being a lover to being a fiance to being a spouse and a life partner. The building blocks of trust have, gotten to a place where that would be permissible. But, in these codependent toxic relationships, those the trust blocks actually did not build up properly, but because there's that toxic codependent energy, that's forcing the issue, that's rewarding bad behavior, that's running off of the shadow side and not those that would be of building a solid, healthy relationship. It's prematurely allowing people to get into spaces and places in our life where they have not earned it, you guys. All right. What's another need that you might have in a relationship? You might need to have empathy. You might need for your partner to be able to have empathy. And we all know that narcissists do not have empathy. All right. So what do I mean when I say empathy in this context? Do they care about your feelings? Are they caring about your perspective in things? Because that's what empaths are able to do. Yeah, they're able to absorb and feel other people's ups and downs. They're able to put themselves in other people's shoes and see angles outside of their own ego and their own wants and desires. All right. So, yeah, empathy might be something that you need to be able to have. The next thing, you want to be a priority. Either is it okay, yeah, I'm going to come first, or I'm top, or I'm a high priority in your life, not just, I'll get around to you when I can. I want connections where I'm a priority, where my energy and my time and my presence is respected and cherished. Like if you feel like, it is, I'll get to you when I get to you. Like, oh no, you want to have a certain level of interest and priority. Okay. The next thing, you guys, you might have a need to want to make sure that you feel connected here. And, having that connection means you don't feel lonely. Now, connection doesn't mean that it's a bugaboo. It doesn't mean that we're tied at the hips. It doesn't mean that there's no individuality. And these are those type of relationships to where you might have a friend, a childhood friend, and maybe as life progressed and you guys did this and that, you don't talk as much as you did, but there's always been this connection there. And when you start talking, it's like it was yesterday. See, that's a connection right there. Not a toxic connection, because sometimes we can feel that with those karmic relationships. And that's going to be a nice treat. I am going to do, someone did recommend me address the twin flame notion and this narcissist and karmic relationships. So I'm thinking I'm going to break that up, not to digress too much, and make a video on twin flames and, how the narcissist is not your twin flame. Okay. And how the narcissist is a karmic relationship. So I think I will, break those two up right there. But yeah, you want to have a connection, but not a toxic one. All right. The next thing is space. And we know that when a narcissist is love bombing you, you're not getting that. And that space allows you to be able to have your me time. It allows you to be able to maintain the other connections in your life, because it doesn't just revolve around that one relationship. Even if it's a happy, healthy one, there's other aspects to your life. Okay. And then that would actually lead to codependency right then and there. And welcome back, chill _ wildlife. And Cheer Slay says, I would hate to express any of these needs to NARC because they are all going to do a mirror mimic of you. No, they're not going to mirror or mimic you, because if they were, Cheer, I'm going to just disagree a little bit. They would be doing what you want them to do. What they're going to do is probably try to gaslight you into believing that they are meeting your needs by breadcrumbing you and, perhaps using a little triggering that Stockholm syndrome within you. But I don't think they're going to mirror you. I think that they're more about, I know that they're more about being self-serving and having their needs met. But yeah, I could see where you would hate to express any of these to them, because it would be like talking to a brick wall, and it's not going to, generate the reaction or that shift in the relationship that you would need to happen to have those needs met. Beavis says, I made a big deal about my narc's birthday on mine. She gave me the silent treatment and didn't even say happy birthday. Yeah. And that lets you know right then and there that that person is not trying to reciprocate you. And then it's going to be up to you to, make some decisions at that point on what your needs are and what you require of people, and vice versa. Okay. But yeah, they're notorious for that. You go to the moon and back for them. And then it's like, they might be, even if they even doing anything, rambling around on a day of, and you done started planning like 2 months out and doing this and that. But, once that happens one time, you have to, allow yourself to see that and then move accordingly. All right. But at the end of the day, you guys, this is going to be one of the ways to guarantee that your next relationship will be better than whatever you just experienced with that narcissist. You have to require what you need, and then start picking people who are in a position to give you that. Sometimes our needs, the person is not even in a position. If they're a narcissist, they're not going to be in a position to meet those needs. And as I had deep thought about this, the problem is a lot of time we confuse our wants and our needs. And so does the narcissist does this as well. And that's why I call them ass backwards. They push their wants as their needs. They make their wants their needs. So I don't want your wants to, I want your wants to be in alignment with your needs, to help foster them. Cher says celebration of self makes them jealous. It takes the attention off of them. Right. But if anything, this is just a way for you to expose who you're dealing with at that point, you guys. It'll help you expose them and allow them to expose themselves, because they will expose themselves left or right. It's just whether you want to see it or not, you want to receive it or not. But they're going to expose themselves, you guys. But let's require what you need moving forward. This is the only way that you're going to be able to get your needs met. You have to make it a requirement. I mean, think about your jobs. They have requirements for whatever the role is. Your business has requirements. So you have to run your life that way. I hope that this, has helped someone, reconsider how to get their needs met in relationships. Well, you got to require it. Require what you need. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. YouTube will re-upload this. I'm going to go ahead and stop this live chat. Thank you for dropping in. And I'll be back on here probably. I might make 2 more topics today. I'm thinking about doing narcissistic children. I'm just wrapping up a little bit more research for that, because that's going to be like a heavy one. And your sexual energy, understanding the importance of that and harnessing it and protecting it for sure. All right. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Make sure you hit the bell so that you're notified. Once in a while, I might go on my support groups. I have a public and private one on Facebook, you guys, if anyone is interested in joining. Sometimes I go on there and make that notification, but we just have to learn how to take the path of least resistance. And a lot of times we make things a lot harder on ourselves when we don't. When someone's willing to actually meet our requirements, that's the path the path of least resistance. It's the uphill battle is the other way, trying to, manifest or force a relationship with someone that's not willing. Even if they're able, even if they could do it, if they just decided to do it, but they're choosing not to, you guys. And that has to be something that you be more than happy to release or let go of out of your life, okay? Energetically, you just don't need it. All right, you guys, thank you for tuning in. And again, make sure you hit that like button, and I'll see you in the next live stream.